I had a fairly front row view to the whole Tebow mania in Florida.
Yeah.
Arch Manning is bigger than Tim Tebow. Arch Manning's is more of a celebrity in college football than Tim Tebow was. Look at this. We are talking about what suit he is wearing. We're talking about his dad flying to Austin. Everybody has a take on Arch Manning. Is he going to be successful? No, he's going to be a bust. There's no way he can match this. Is he going to win the Heisman? He is a bona fide celebrity in the game of college football. And I didn't think it would happen because anybody that was around Tebow, I went to an autograph signing and saw a lady that came to the table where Tebow was after he was done at UF, and he was signing his book, and she started bawling. And I'm like, what is going on here? He was that big. Now, he also had a little hardware.
Sure.
And Arch is just starting. But in terms of the aura, Arch Manning is bigger than Tim Tebow.
So, no. I think Tim Tebow, after he won the Heisman, was like the biggest thing in all sports. Okay, but I do agree with you with this. His hype and his aura before he's ever played a full season has definitely eclipsed Tebow. Like Tebow had to win, and Tebow had to be incredible, and Tebow had to win a Heisman to get all of that. The fact that Arch is even in this conversation and he hasn't done nearly any of that definitely plays into your argument. Now, if Arch comes out and, has a very mediocre, mundane season in his first true go around, that'll fade very quickly. But the fact that
I don't think so because of his last name.
I think
there is no other player in college football playing right now that you could say, hey, give me a take. Everybody has a take on this kid. And he was a backup last year.
You're spot on.
There is no other player.
Right.
There are very few since Tebow in college football where everybody, and I mean media, fans, they have a take on a particular player.
But the fact that, so if he goes out and he's not superstar, he's not great, he's just okay, he's very easily going to get haters, people who just immediately just don't like him because he was this super hyped up guy who's supposed to be incredible.
How can you not like him though? He did something yesterday.
There are haters everywhere.
Well, you know what? Stop being haters. Love. All right. Let's have some love.
You don't
think
he'll get clowned by SEC, just people in general, if he comes out and he's not the star that we think he is?
I think there's enough DNA that he can't be like a bust. Maybe he won't. Yeah. He'll never reach what is thrown out there. But
there might be too lofty the expectations.
How can you hate the kid?
I don't hate the kid at all.
I mean, he did a great job yesterday. He handled the media very well. He was pumping the brakes on all of the hype that is being thrown his way. There aren't many kids his age that will do that. Now, granted,
not in this
his
era.
background, he is prepared for this moment. I think it'll be. I don't think he'll be a failure. I'm not as high on Texas as a lot of people are in terms of their national title hopes, and it doesn't have to do with Arch Manning.
Sure,
it is his last name, and he was built for this moment. He has to be at least successful. I don't know how you can not like him because yesterday he was pumping the brakes. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He even threw a little shade at Spurrier. I mean, he had some fun. The people that I hope you get angry at are the people that are throwing the expectations through the roof that nobody can attain those.
But I mean, he is the Heisman Trophy, favorite. Yeah. Okay. And
he wouldn't be if his name was Arch Davis.
Yeah, but he'd still be pretty damn close to.
But that goes back to my point of why he's bigger than Tebow. His name gets him into the running for the Heisman. How many other Heisman preseason stuff have been led by a guy?
He was the number one overall recruit in his class, and he showed some flashes.
But
last year.
He was a backup last year. Yeah. He's the number one. That's just adds to.
And he's coming in with a really, really good team. Now, I agree with you implicitly that if we're just talking about starting off before they do anything, that Arch Manning is bigger than Tebow. Absolutely, I don't think that he's eclipsed the superstardom that Tim. I mean, in my library, there was Tim Tebow books. You could check out a book about Tim Tebow and read about Tim Tebow 2 years after he was in college.
That was after. After I'm with you.
Oh, yeah.
After I'm with you. But right now, in the sport, he is bigger than Tim Tebow was.
I'll stay with
every single day.
Starting off,
people on national shows that talk college football always drift to Arch Manning.
When Paul Feinbaum though puts pins himself to you essentially, like he's done, because that's look, man, in broadcasting, that's kind of the play that some guys do, where it's like Colin Cowherd pins himself to LeBron James and Nick Wright pins himself to Patrick Mahomes, right? The fact that Paul Feinbaum is like, I'm pinning myself to this guy, so much so that they just shook hands and Feinbaum posted it on Twitter, like, yeah, look at that handshake.
So
and then he goes,
never,
best handshake since Tim Tebow.
He never shot. Yeah, but I mean, he loved his handshake with Arch. I mean, the kid seems to be pretty grounded. I mean, he also looks like a college kid.
He does.
He
looks exactly.
It was
like
funny.
Every
so
guy
they had
in
Arch
Singapore.
Manning yesterday, who looks like a rush chairman of a frat in Austin, and then you had Gunnar Stockton, who looks like he is mid-30s, has 3 kids, a portfolio, and lives in the burbs but works in downtown Atlanta. Those are like the key quarterbacks of the 2 top teams in the SEC. And we got Drew Aller leading our conference.
Arch Manning looks like the type of guy who really pissed off Brittany because he brought Bailey, her sorority sister, to his formal instead. That's what he looks like.
I like the kid.
I wrote in my notes here, Arch Manning is a humble stud. That was my note on Arch Manning.
Humble stud.
He's a humble stud. And it's like, the thing is, you talk about the last name, you could tell though, and knowing that family, how long we have known that family, because we've known that family for now decades. It's he is a Manning. He's he's not different. He's not punk rock or anything or it's oh, I want to break away. He literally is just oh, they made another one. That's just what it is. They just made another Manning, and they'll probably make 3 more. That's probably what's going to happen. And they'll be the royal family of football.